Hello, 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 and welcome back to Puerto Rico Life. My name is Jeffrey Holst, and I have a very special guest with me today. Gio is here to talk about his experience of moving to the Ponce area in the south part of the island just 2 months ago. Is that right? 2 months now?
That is correct. 2 months ago.
Awesome, awesome. All right, great. So where are you from originally?
I'm from Nevada, Las Vegas.
Okay, and you lived in Las Vegas your whole life?
No, I actually grew up in Connecticut.
Oh, okay. All right,
Um,
cool.
Moved to Vegas, and I'm here in Puerto Rico.
How long were you in Vegas for?
14 years.
Wow. So that's quite a while. All right. So what did you do in Vegas for a living? Like what kind of stuff were you doing? Like what was it like there?
I was into staffing, a little bit of staffing, managing staffing agencies.
Okay, cool. Um and so you've been in Puerto Rico since July 1st, something
July
like that?
1st. That is
Yeah.
correct. July 1st.
Okay. So that's right at the halfway through the year mark. So did you actually move for the tax advantages or did you just it's just a coincidence you moved at July?
Well, I mean, tax advantages, and I mean, I actually moved out like in 2000. We came out. We were here on vacation in 2019,
Okay.
and we started exploring the island, and we liked the vibe that was happening here,
Oh yeah. No, I get
and
that.
I ended up, me and the wife ended up just saying, well, we kind of like it here. Let's just sell our, we started planning, so selling our home and start gathering up some funds
Sure.
and to
Huh.
make the move. So we ended up buying a farm in the town of Utuado,
Okay.
which is countryside. Um, we just started looking around in that clasificados.com and just calling properties, and to we came across this one, and I called the owner of it, flew down last was it 2020, before the pandemic hit, and we closed out the deal,
Okay.
and we'll say, you know what, we'll see how we're doing financially next year.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's really interesting. So you bought a farm in Puerto
Mm-hmm.
Rico in the countryside off of Clasificados, um, and then that was like a year and a half ago. Then, if it was before the
Yeah, this was in
pandemic,
yeah, this
yeah.
was like in about around December of 2019.
Okay, so you came down in 2019, and just really a few months later, you decided to buy a farm in Puerto Rico, and and so what is the farm like? What do you grow on the farm? Like, is it
I mean,
animals?
right
Is it
now, everything. I mean, there's everything. There's all kinds of. There's bananas. There's plantains. There's pumpkins. There's avocados. There's breadfruit. All kinds of fruit
nice?
just growing wild.
So what part of the island is this town on? Because I'm not familiar with the town
It's
name.
right in the middle. It's north of north of Ponce. It's between Juntas, Lares, um, uh, Hayuya.
Okay, all
It's
right.
right in the middle. It's. I
So
mean,
so
I'm pretty sure you've heard of Arecibo. It's south of
yeah. So
Arecibo.
it's between Arecibo and
South
Ponce.
of Arecibo, correct.
Yeah, so north of Ponce, south of Arecibo. All right, so that it's kind of mountainous there, right? Not super mountainous, but kind of
It's
mountainous.
you have mix of it's mountainous region.
Yeah, great. So you bought the farm at the end of 2019, and then the world kind of shut down a few months later. Was that difficult for you then to run the farm from Vegas without being
Well,
able
I
to
know.
fly out?
Right now, and I mean, the farm's still not up and running. I have another property. I have two properties here.
Okay,
The one in Ponce and the one
right.
in Utuado.
How did you choose Ponce? Let's talk about that because you've been there a couple of months. Like, I find it
Well,
an interesting
that's where
place.
my grandparents and I mean, I have family there. That's where
Oh,
they
okay,
from.
great, great, great. So you have some kind of connection to that part of the island.
Correct.
Yeah. And your grandparents still live there?
No, no.
No.
Oh, they passed away in the 80s.
Okay, so but you still have some relatives there, and so you picked that area because of that.
Correct. Yes.
Cool. So I did a couple of videos on Ponce, I think, but I didn't really get to explore the region very much when I was in Puerto Rico last. I was only down in Ponce for like a day and a half. What do you like about the area? Like, what is it about Ponce besides some family that attracts you to there?
I mean, it's everything. You're in the southern part. You're not. I'm only an hour away from San Juan. An hour away from the the east, which is Maya West. Probably, I mean, you're very. I mean, you're in the middle. Everything is close by.
Well, yeah,
If
I mean,
I
it makes
want to drive to a Costco, Costco's probably about 45 minutes away from where I'm at. Instead of, like I said, I got the farm, but it's away from everything. Makes sense?
sure. Yeah, I know. So I get that because my wife and I have been talking about whether we move to like Rincon or Rincon. It's Rincon, right? Rincon. So yeah, so we're talking about whether we want to move to Rincon or if we want to stay in the San Juan area because I've argued that I want to be close to international airport and like be able to go to Costco and stuff like that. And she's like, well, it's so much more laid back on the West Coast. And I get that too. So it's kind of a trade-off. Ponce doesn't have a big international airport, but I guess you're 45 minutes from San Juan. Right?
The airport from here, actually, you started. I mean, back in the days, you could fly from Ponce. You could fly into New York and into Orlando. Those are the two airports right now that there are. You got airlines. You have JetBlue. They're running that airport.
Yeah, so I know JetBlue flies a lot out of Aguadilla, which is over by Rincon, and so I've thought about that. I mean, I'm kind of stuck on the Delta bandwagon these days because
when it comes down, it's just the pricing. Like for an example, like with me, okay. I mean, it'll be to fly out of Ponce and Aguadilla, you pay 3 times the amount of money that you were paying. Instead of flying out of San Juan.
Yeah, and that's what I've been concerned about. And, especially from Aguadilla, it's a long ways to San Juan. Like, at least in Ponce, you can get
probably
up there
about an hour away.
But over in Aguadilla, you're like almost 2 hours away. Or if you're in Rincon, it's 3 hours. It's almost 3 hours. So
no, I'm only, like I said, I'm only with traffic, about an hour and 15 minutes away from
yeah, well, and it's all toll road, right? So you get the straight shot right on the toll road. It's not too bad, and the tolls are only a few dollars. It's not super expensive either, right? Like $7 or $8, something like that. All right, so okay, so is there anything that's happened in the 2 months ish that you've been there that surprised you? Has it been harder or easier? Or?
So far, just government offices, to get the DNV, and it just moves a little slower than being back home. Not that it's just want to get to a doctor. Like for example, my wife is about 6 months pregnant.
Oh, congratulations!
We spent about 3 weeks trying to find a doctor for gynecologist to take care of her.
Yeah,
most of the doctors, since they're moved on to the mainland.
Do you guys speak Spanish?
Yes.
Yeah. So
my kids don't though.
So it make it maybe even more difficult for me as a non-Spanish speaker to find a doctor.
Well, I mean, like for my 17-year-old, she's actually she's been. She grew up in New York and been in Vegas. Her English is, but I was able to find a good school for her.
Great.
Full English curriculum. With a year cost around $5,800.
Oh, that's not too bad, right? I mean, that's not
crazy.
No,
not at all. It's all English curriculum.
Yeah, so that's all right. So all right, let me ask some questions because like, as people who watch this channel know, I really do want to move to Puerto Rico. I'm planning on doing it towards the end of this year. I still have some concerns, so maybe you can help me with some of this. So you
No
said the
problem.
DMV was difficult. Um how long did it take you to get a driver's license? Like how did that process work?
I mean, I still haven't changed my Vegas driver's license, to be honest with you.
Oh, all right. So you
I
haven't
mean, I
gone through
still
that. Have you
no. I
did
mean,
you
you
buy a car?
yes, yes, purchase a vehicle. Actually purchased two vehicles. Um,
How was that process? Like how is
it
it
wasn't that
different?
bad. I mean, you just go and when you the I mean they were used. The owner would go. You go into a lawyer and you do an affidavit and sign a title over to you, and you just go to the DMV the first day within 10 days.
Okay.
And you get a transfer under your name.
So they were able to transfer it to your name without you having a driver's license. There was no problem with that.
You're able to do it.
Yeah. Okay. And
Yeah,
then
you
what
know what?
about the
They're pretty lean. When it comes down, with the with the IDs from out there. Not
sure.
like, oh, you have to turn it into 30 days. No, I mean they're pretty lean.
Yeah. All right. Fair. So what about the stickers? So I've heard that they have a sticker on every car. I don't really remember what they're
So
called
you
off the.
pay. See what that sticker is? That's your registration and insurance. So you pay insurance here. It's $100 for the whole year.
Oh, that's cheap. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, as a matter of fact, I have to on the 31st. My sticker expires August 31st, and it's only gonna. It's the total registration with insurance and everything. It's $185.
So the insurance actually comes through the state then. Like it's like a state
Correct. It's
program.
all yeah. It's all the insurance and it's through the government.
Okay. And then I'm guessing some people probably buy supplemental insurance, like if they don't think they have enough
Yeah,
coverage or
you
whatever.
have the options. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So what about you? So you said your wife was 6 months pregnant, which congratulations on that, by the way.
Thank you.
Talk about a nice range. You have a 17-year-old and now you're about to have an infant. So you have
I
a
have a seven. I have a 17. I have a 5-year-old, 3, and the one that's coming.
wow. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
yeah,
wide
pretty.
range. Yeah. So you must have been concerned about health insurance, I'm gonna guess, before you came to Puerto Rico.
So I mean, since when I first got here, we gave up the health insurance. In the meantime, what I did was sign up with the Medicaid. It was pretty simple,
Okay.
and I just started working last week. As a matter of fact, this is my
Okay.
last week was my second week, so I have to
So
wait 3 months until I'm able to get health care
okay, so
offer from
you so
them.
you so you moved without a job and then you signed up for Medicaid, but is that income based then since you didn't have income you were able to qualify for it or is there
Correct,
something else?
correct,
Okay.
yes.
So you
And as a matter of fact, you can. I mean, I could stay on it. Still make $3,800 a month, and they won't take it away because that's how much. I mean, with the amount of people, it's
because of
based
the
on
size of your
household.
family and all
Correct.
that, yeah.
So
And
yeah,
that
I'm able
was
to make.
so as a individual that just arrived at the island, there was no problem with signing up for it. For
No,
you for
actually,
you.
it took me like 2 days,
Nice. Nice.
and signed up. I mean, showed them everything. I was able even to do it with the IDs from out there. Send them the Social Security and all the legal documentation, and show them, hey, I'm here and I am looking for work.
Yeah,
And
sure.
so they review the case and said, look, I mean, you qualify and you can make this amount of money on a monthly basis. Still, you know,
Yeah.
and still, keep the services on. Hey,
So
compared to, and it's funny because I was me and the wife were paying $850 a month back
sure.
in Vegas.
Yeah. And
Eight
was that
hundred.
subsidized through a company like that you worked for, or was
Yes, yeah.
that
My
just
wife. Well, my wife used to work for Avis Budget Group
oh, okay?
at the airport out there in Vegas.
Oh,
So
maybe I saw her. I was in Vegas. I rented a car from them, so
oh yeah.
you never know,
So
right?
So, and I did the staff and insurance. I mean, with the company that I was working for and staffing, man. We had Blue Cross Blue Shield, and it was about 1,100 a month.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
just the healthcare is just super. I mean, it's just
right. So no,
super
your
expensive.
your new job in Puerto Rico, does that have health insurance options? Do they still do it the
After
same
90
way?
days,
Yeah, so
yes,
it's
after 90
similar to
days.
the US. After you've been there for a while, you're
Correct,
eligible for health
correct.
insurance.
After the 90,
Yeah.
that. Once you pass your probation period,
Okay. Do you
like
know
right
what
now,
is it going to be a similar price, or is it going to be cheaper or more, or don't you know?
well, they haven't,
Yeah. So
we
you don't
haven't
know. You don't
talked
know
right now.
yet. Yeah.
Like I said, I've only started working 2 weeks ago.
Okay, so I'm actually really interested in the motivation behind this move because I get that you visited Puerto Rico and you loved it because that happened to me, right? I've been to Puerto Rico a
Mhm.
dozen times over the last 10 years or so, and I really love it, and that's why I want to move there as well.
It's a
But
different vibe, and like I said, from being, um, and I totally get it. It's like, I told my wife the problem is, you're in an island, okay? So the speed of people here, man, it's way slower. Everything gets done at a slower pace, okay?
no, I'm sure,
It's
especially
funny, it's funny to go on a Sunday, man. You see a store opens up at 11 o'clock in the morning. Um, Almost like Texas. Texas, it's a very conservative state. They still respect their Sundays. You don't see people out and about, on a
yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah, no, and so I would say, especially compared to like Vegas, which is like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week,
Exactly.
everything's happening. It's like being in New York City or something. Um, and I find that to be the most interesting part about San Juan, actually, is that I just spent a month there, and I'm from Michigan originally, and Michigan's it's not Vegas, but it's we stay pretty active up there. And then I
Mm-hmm.
came to Tennessee, and it's kind of like it's a bit slower, and it took a little getting used
Correct.
to.
Correct.
But San Juan, it's like way slower than Chattanooga is where I live now.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
I went to Ponce or like Cabo Rojo or something, and like it's so much slower than San Juan. It's like a whole new world.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
really, really, really relaxed and laid back, and it's nice.
No,
There's
and it's
something
funny. I
about
mean,
that
the neighborhood
island
that I'm in
time.
right now is, past 7 o'clock at night, you don't see a car.
Yeah. So
You know
that's
what I mean?
actually, and it's
And,
quiet and like,
and all you hear is the sound of the crickets and the frogs in the background.
yeah, Koki
Um,
all day long, right? So
and it's a good feeling. You know what I mean? That to have, hey, like foremost, my kids being able to go play outside don't have that worry. Damn, they're gonna get hit by a car, or God knows, you know what I mean? What cycle
yeah.
could be around? Makes sense.
Yeah, well,
You know
compared to Vegas, a sort of rural-ish neighborhood in
exactly.
southern Puerto Rico is a completely different world.
So
Um,
it just feels good not to have that worry. I could actually, they could actually. I mean, the yard is pretty big. They're not confined. I mean, they're out there, uh, just being kids.
so all right, so let me ask this. So you moved there because you like the vibe. That's essentially what you're saying, right? Is it
Correct.
was a chill place to live. Um, and you picked Ponce area because of the family. So if you were recommending to someone, say someone's watching and they're like, "Oh, I think I might want to live in Puerto Rico," and they don't have family in Puerto Rico, what would you say to them? Like, where should they be looking at? Is there a different place on the island, or should they just go straight to Ponce?
It all depends. Like I said, once here, for an example, if you go to Rincon, okay, you might find a home out there for 300,000. Um, 250, 200,000. You're able to, down here in Ponce, you're able to live in the same home for 150 or 175.
So it's just a lot cheaper,
It's
right?
way
I mean,
cheaper.
there's a big difference. Is it's
It's
cheaper.
huge difference. Huge
Um,
difference.
So I didn't go to the coast when I was in Ponce. I mean, I know it's right there, but I didn't go to the beach and see what it's like. What are the beaches like? Like is it a nice sandy
There's,
beach there or
there's
how
not
is it?
much. There's not many beaches here, to be honest with you. most of the good beaches are in Guanica,
Okay.
which is, you have, the whole Cabo Rojo area, Guanica.
Yeah, and Cabo Rojo is only 45 minutes from Ponce, right? So,
No,
um,
no, not even. For where I'm at, like I said, I'm in between.
okay, so
Um,
it's even closer for you. But like
correct,
from
yes.
downtown, like the centro part of Ponce, it's
So
maybe
I'm up
45
in the
minutes. Yeah.
I'm up in the northern part of the town.
Is that
Um,
up on a hill then? Because it's kind of hilly up to the north, right?
correct,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It's up
yeah.
on the hill.
I'm gonna have
Um,
to come see this. This sounds great.
it's in no. If you take the drive up to Utuado, it's totally even different. See, I've
Yeah,
never
well,
been.
I'll come see your farm this fall. Maybe we'll
I
see if we can
am.
make it
I'm
happen.
not. I've been. Some people like the beach. I'm more to river.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you there's so much out here, though.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, Cabo Rojo is like some of the best diving I've ever done in my life was there. I mean, it was
Oh yeah,
really, really, really good. And then of course they have the bioluminescent bay, which is like
correct.
it's like swimming through fireworks. I don't know how else to describe it. It
Well,
doesn't
from
really like
Guanica, you can get to it's called Gilligan's Island.
yeah.
Okay,
And
you
how
jump on a little.
have you done
The
that?
Nah, I haven't had the chance to do
Yeah,
it
yeah,
yet.
no worries. Yeah.
You know, but there's you jump on a little thing and they take you right into Gilligan's Island.
Yeah, and
And
that does sound. I mean, that sounds great, right? Because the one thing about the south part of the island is that there aren't the same kind of beaches that you have on the west coast, or even really in San Juan. Like Isla Verde Beach is like 2 miles of white
I'm gonna
sand.
be honest with you. I've seen. I don't know if you've been up to Crash Boat.
Yeah, I did go there.
I don't see. To be quite honest with you, I don't see why people say Fajardo and Rincon has the best. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have to argue that. I
Yeah, well,
think the
I
best
wasn't
beaches.
super impressed with Crash Boat either. It's super
I
crowded.
think some of the best beaches are in the south.
Yeah, like do you think like do you have a specific spot in the south that you like, or should we not tell people? Keep it secret.
You have, there's just so many of them that you have Boca Raton, which is decent beach.
And fairly close to Ponce, also, right? I think
Correct.
it's 15 minutes or something.
You have, Isabella's got some good beaches too.
Oh
I would
yeah,
say
Isabella. Of course,
Isabella's got,
that's
yeah,
that's
I
over
take
by
that back.
Yeah, that's over by
Yeah.
Arecibo, right? Like so, this is like quite a ways from Ponce, a little bit.
Isabella's got some beautiful beaches. You have, I would, it's they have a few, nothing like, Hoyuda. Um, there's so much out here.
Yeah. So all right, let me ask you:
Monguios, the jungle. There's so many.
Have you? So you've obviously traveled to Puerto Rico before this last 2 months. Have you discovered anything though in the last couple of months that sort of surprised you that you didn't expect about Puerto Rico?
You know what? Nothing really, because everything just happened so fast. Like I said, I've been here going on July on a month, so it's just been trying to get trying to get situated, and then all
So
of a sudden I put in my resume and bam, I landed the job.
yeah, that's
So,
great because I hear
so it's just
unemployment's really high. So it's like
like everything was like it was just like meant to be.
yeah.
Um, so now
How,
in the meantime, I'm trying to get my farm registered with the USDA so I
okay.
can start, start.
Selling produce and whatnot. And
Well, yes, once you're registered, you're good. You start taking the. There's a lot of incentives for agriculture here.
well, I like avocados, so I might have to come steal some from
Well,
you.
man,
But,
I'm sick of them already.
yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, I can imagine.
You
So,
know,
what about the process of moving from Vegas to Ponce area? Like, did you ship stuff or did you just buy
I
new
sure did.
stuff?
I contacted a company called UPAC. Um,
All right.
and what they do is they'll they ship containers over to Puerto Rico. Okay, so it cost me around $4,000 to rent 5 cubic feet. of the trailer. Okay. Then they have the cubes as well. Those are around $3,000. So I rented when I sold the house, I sent my first one, put it into a storage unit here. Now it's around 3,800. This last one I sent was 4,200 for 5 cubic feet. And you'll be
so right at that $4,000-ish rate, somewhere
correct.
between
Yeah,
38 to 4,500.
$8,000. My mistake was that it's cheaper. Okay, like for an example, let's see if if you end up using 7 or 8 cubic feet. Okay, so it's only $200 on top of whatever extra space you get.
I got it. So you could have gotten like 7 or 8 feet, and you would have spent 4,300 instead of $8,000 to do 10.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. That's the good thing that the company has. Which I didn't know.
Yeah, you don't know how much stuff you have.
And
so
did
you ship most of your stuff, or did you sell a bunch of stuff?
I shipped most of my stuff, and it's funny because when I sold my house in Vegas, sold it to a couple from California, and they liked the house so much. I was like, hey, we'll even take your furniture. How much will it cost to leave your furniture in there? So I said, you know what? I mean, just throw in an extra $5,000.
Nice. So you didn't ship your furniture, but you shipped all of your clothing.
No,
and personal stuff.
I shipped from the stuff. I didn't ship no living room set, no appliances or nothing like that. It was just pretty much boxes, pots, pans, things that a lot of boxes. 3 beds and dog's cage, just a bunch of.
You got all that stuff into 10 cubic feet. So for
5,
people,
all that stuff. You'd be surprised you could fit. I mean, it's 5 feet long by.
No, it's 5 by 5 by 5, right? Like 5.
No. It's actually more.
Oh, it's more than that.
Yes. I mean, the truck is probably about 9 feet wide, about another 10 feet tall.
Okay.
And 5 feet. Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know what they call it. It's a pretty big space.
Yeah, that does sound like a lot. Okay, so you said something about did you say a dog's cage? Is that what you said? I heard you say.
Correct, yeah.
So you moved a dog with you to Puerto Rico?
Yeah, I brought 2 dogs with me.
How was that process? Because I have a dog and I'm interested in learning.
I went. I mean, you have to obviously get the health certificate from your vet.
Sure.
And it cost me $125 for the plane ticket.
Okay, and you just took your dogs with you on the plane.
You take the dogs with you.
Yeah, that's very reasonable. Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't want to fly them back and forth, but you don't want to get rid of your dog either, right? So,
no, that's part of your family.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like, for example, my dogs have been with us since they were puppies, and they're about 10 years old already.
Yeah, no. So I have one dog that's 10. And we've had her since she was 8 weeks old. So, I mean, she is part of the family. We had 2 other dogs. Unfortunately, both of them passed away this year. One was a 13-year-old Great Dane, and she may have been the oldest Great Dane ever to live because they live like 8 to 10 years. And she was 13. So, I mean, it wasn't shocking that she died. But my wife and I said a few years ago that we would not move until after she passed because she was too old already then. So part of the reason why our timing is now is that, these dogs are gone, but I'm still not getting rid of my other one, like I want to keep her around as long as I can. So
definitely.
All right. So you moved how many children did you say you have? 4?
3.
3. Oh, and one on the way, right? So
one
on the way. And then, so you moved your 3 kids and your dog, and your wife and you to Puerto Rico. And it sounds like almost on a whim, like it sounded good to you, but you didn't spend a lot of time thinking about it. You visited and then you were like, oh, we're going to buy a farm. And then as soon as COVID got slowed down a little bit, you popped on a plane and went over.
No, I mean, actually before it was February of last year, 2020, before COVID hit.
That you bought the farm, right? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I came down. Actually, I came down to see the farm, and in February last
So right before COVID,
year. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, COVID's kind of like March-ish of last year, right? Is when they started shutting stuff down.
Correct.
Um,
So the owner, I mean, I told the owner, I'll find the attorney that's going to handle everything. And I just, I did everything with, a cashier's check.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's talk about the process of buying in Puerto Rico. And I know you speak Spanish, so you might have an advantage over somebody like me. But like, if I want to buy something in Puerto Rico,
You'll be surprised the amount of people here that speak Spanish, English.
yeah, a lot of people do. I
I
know.
wouldn't let that. I wouldn't let that
Yeah.
stop.
It's not stopping me. I'm going. I'm going to try to learn Spanish. I've been open about that. But
Within 6 months, you're gonna be a pro.
yeah, that's the hope. That's definitely the hope. So the question is, how is it different buying real estate in Puerto Rico than say like in Las Vegas? Like, what's different about the process?
I don't. There's not much. I mean, if you're gonna finance, it's pretty much the same thing.
Okay.
It's funny because I was able to close on this house, the house that I'm in right now, within 30 days with the bank.
Okay, and you got a traditional mortgage and everything, or
correct? Yes,
yeah.
yes, yeah. Just way cheaper than my mortgage was in Vegas.
Okay,
my mortgage here is only $530.
Oh,
With
nice.
taxes and
Well, it's
insurance.
$150,000 place is a lot cheaper. What kind of interest rate did they charge? Like, what are they?
I'm at 2.95.
Oh, that's great. So sub 3, and it's 30-year financing and all that.
Correct.
And they gave you that even not being a Puerto Rican resident, they were able to give you that because you
Yes,
technically haven't changed your
you're
license.
able to.
Yeah,
You're able to. You're able to buy.
that's great. Was that like Banco Popular or was it somewhere else?
Correct. Yes, through them.
Yeah, great.
Popular Bank.
Yeah, I love them.
I'll tell you one thing. I mean, my advice to you, if you want to utilize something that's coming up here, man, it's credit union PenFed.
PenFed. Okay.
They're doing a lot of mortgages. They're doing auto loans. They have branches all over the island. So in the States, it's a credit union out of Alexandria, Virginia.
Okay. Did you finance your cars too, or did you buy those?
No, I ended up buying them cash.
Okay. Yeah. Did you find cars more expensive in Puerto Rico?
Super, yes. So super expensive, and actually, I looked at the options of
shipping one.
Shipping one from out there, and it's just the amount of taxes you have to pay out here. It's not worth it.
Yeah, see, it's a really tough call for me. So I know that the import duties are based on the value of the vehicle.
Correct.
And my wife and I have a 2014 Mustang convertible, which is really a nice car with low miles. It's not super valuable, right? It's maybe $12,000 or something.
Yeah, but no, they're gonna value whatever the book value was when that car was brand new.
I know that's the problem, right? So it's like it's not really worth it. Yeah.
So it's not really worth it, to be honest.
Yeah, better off to buy it one there. So what kind of vehicle did you buy? Like, what did you pick? I
bought a 2002 Toyota Sequoia.
Okay.
Very, very good shape. I ended up paying $8,500 for it.
That doesn't sound terrible if it runs well and it's in good shape.
I mean, the AC is awesome.
That matters.
That's what I had in Vegas. I had a Sequoia, so that's what I loved about the Sequoia is the AC. Yeah. And the room that the spaces inside.
What would just for reference for people that are watching, what would the similar car do you think what would it have cost you in Vegas? Like how much more really was it in Puerto Rico versus Vegas?
Probably about $4,000 more.
So it was like almost double then. If you paid $8,800 or whatever, it's like nearly double.
No, but then again, I came across a deal. My wife, I got a little small 4-cylinder car. 2009, I believe it is. Kia Spectra. And I mean, with 30,000 miles on it.
Well, that sounds pretty good. Were you worried about like the water damage issue? Because I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh, you can't buy anything that's older than 2011 because of Maria." A lot of these cars were water damaged.
You know, to be quite honest, I mean, you're able to. I mean, most of the cars. I mean, water damage in a way. Like I said, I mean, hurricane went through. I mean, yeah. If you drove it wasn't like. See, here it's not.
It's not like they
The
were
flood. You know what? The
underwater.
flooding here is not an issue. It's more of the mudslides. Okay,
Right.
and some of the things. See, what happened with Maria was, and this is something. You had Irma that hit 2 weeks before. Irma dumped a lot of water here. Okay, it was just, I mean, it was just a storm that just dumped a lot of water. Okay, so what it did was it softened up the soil. Okay, and obviously, like I said, I mean, not even 2 weeks after, and then Maria hit. So being the fact that Irma just had been around, prior few more days before,
Sure.
and then something, with like a bees of category 5, man. Of course, you're just gonna rip out every tree there is.
Oh yeah.
Um, I mean, and that's just the the damage that Maria, and then there's
So,
but it was the outcome. It was
but
just
yeah,
two
but the
hurricanes in
you're
one.
saying I think you're saying that there wasn't flooding, so the cars weren't like submerged in water because this was a
No,
real
no, no. It
problem.
wasn't like, for an
Yeah,
example, like if you go to Louisiana or if you go to
like
Houston,
Katrina. Yeah,
is that I mean, you get flooded out there. Okay.
yeah.
Here, unless you're in the downtown area, see where I'm at, we don't flood here.
That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I did a video on this. Actually, when I was in Condado, it rained really hard one day, and the roads all flooded. But they also dried up in like 15 minutes, like
Exactly.
because it just runs off into the ocean and it's done, right?
Hmm.
I mean, it's because
Hmm.
you're basically the whole island's like that, right? And so the water hits wherever it hits, and it just runs off into the
It
ocean.
just runs off quick. I mean, it doesn't, it's not like it's gonna stay there for weeks. No, I mean, I mean, and we get rain, man. Just a couple of weeks ago, I mean, we had a tropical storm that went through,
There's
and yeah,
nothing
we
on the
got a lot.
calendar for the next 2 weeks, is there? Because I'm coming in a week, so
Yeah, but nothing really,
nothing yet. All right, good. All right, that's good to know. Yeah, so my wife and I were going to Rincon for Labor Day weekend. We're going to hang out there
cool.
for a few days and hopefully see how we like that side of the island. Because I spent most of my time this year in San Juan area. So
Yeah, San Juan, I just think it's over. I mean, it's overpriced.
it's busy, it's expensive,
I
but
mean,
yeah,
the
you.
traffic. I mean, it's now. I mean, I work. I mean, that's where I'm working. I'm working in San Juan right
Oh, so you're
now.
commuting to San Juan?
Yes, yes, yes. And I mean, I hate it. I mean, that traffic, man. That's the reason why I left Vegas. When I got to Vegas, I mean, and we probably was around 1.5, 2 million residents. Now it's like a
Sure.
3.5 million people.
Yeah, and I mean, in San Juan's population is actually down a little bit, so the traffic's better than it was 10 years ago.
Oh,
But it's
yeah,
still
oh, no,
not. It's still
definitely.
not
No,
great, right?
it's
It's
still, man, it's still. I mean, like I said, I mean, I jumped on that 52 coming down south, man. That area, Cog was. Um, I just, I don't.
it's a beautiful drive too. I can see, it's a nice landscape to pass through every day. So,
Definitely.
um, well, Gio, listen, I really appreciate you coming on and reaching out to me.
Thanks. No, thanks for the opportunity.
And I'd love to, maybe check back in 6 months and see how, if anything's changed. Maybe once I move to Puerto Rico, we can meet up and I can check out your farm. We can do a little video what the farm's
No,
like or
definitely,
something.
man. I
That'd be
saw
a lot of
you.
fun.
And it's funny, one thing that I did notice here, man, is just like so much food goes to waste here.
A lot, yeah.
And because the system is same thing as as a system in the US, man. It's just a system based on consumption, okay? Um I mean here, I mean you go to the store and you see people buying bananas and watermelons and pumpkins and I'm like, but you can grow. I mean, you can grow all this stuff here. Why not take
Sure.
advantage of it? And people don't do that.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm guilty of this myself because there's a lot of stuff that grows in Tennessee that I don't grow, right? But it does feel like more people grow stuff in Puerto Rico than they do, like say in the Midwest where I'm from. When I
no,
was
no, definitely.
when
I
I
mean
was a
here,
Yeah.
here, I can take a screenshot right now. I mean, my neighbor's got probably around 30 to 40 passion fruit just thrown into your backyard, and they'll
Nice.
rot away.
Yeah, I love passion fruit. I'm gonna have to come
You
visit your
know,
neighbor
same
too.
thing as mangoes. I mean, mangoes just rotting away, bananas just rotting away.
Yeah, and I mean, you drive anywhere on the island, it seems like you can
But
buy
but then
bananas and
you go to the
pineapples.
superstore, you go to the supermarket, and you see this. Like, why would you buy a papaya when they're rotting away all over the place? Makes sense.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and I just don't get that part of it. I
yeah.
don't.
So, do you grow in your place in Ponce? Do you grow anything, or you just get all of your?
But I have some. I have. As a matter of fact, let's see if I can point out the window right now.
Sure.
Let's see if I can switch this camera. Uh, I have. Let me see, camera.
Now we have no camera, but that's all right.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe we're out of luck there. Well, we lost Gio. He's completely gone. So maybe he'll turn back up. If not, though, I really appreciate Gio coming on, and I really appreciate people watching. And by the way, as long as we have this little interlude while we wait for Gio to show back up, I want to share, listen, if you've moved to Puerto Rico in the last 4 to 5 years, maybe 6 months ago, maybe 3 years ago, it doesn't matter, and you want to discuss what it's been like for you, we got Gio back here. You want to discuss what it's been like for you in Puerto Rico? I'd be interested in talking to more people as well. You can just go ahead and comment in the show notes below under the comments, or send me an email. And I think I have my email in most of my videos now, so people can look that up as well. All right, so welcome back. Were you able to figure it out or not?
No, exactly. I'm just gonna face it the other way. So you see, there's a breadfruit tree.
Let me put this on. I'm gonna put you on the big screen real quick, okay? I'm gonna go to solo view so we can see. There we go. Okay, now we can see it better.
Avocado tree there. Probably see the avocado wrapper on the top.
Is that really? Those are the really big avocados like they have there, not the small ones that they make.
I've actually seen them bigger than that.
Yeah.
That's a breadfruit tree right there.
Nice.
There's a banana trees. And in the back, there's it's called some kind of a cherry. 2 cherry trees.
Awesome. Yeah, that's really, really cool. I appreciate you sharing that with us. And I took a moment to put my email address on the screen for people that want to reach out to me. Gio, if people wanted to reach out to you with any questions, do you want to share an email address, or you want me just to connect them with you if they need anything?
Yeah, you can connect them with me. You can have my emails, but it's ggarcia3571@gmail.com.
Yeah, and I think you put that in the comments on a previous video, and I'll go ahead and add it to the comments here right after we get done. So hey, thanks so much for being on, and I look forward to checking out your farm one of these times.
No, definitely. Once you're in town, I mean, you have my personal contact number.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
And just I don't know what you could take back to the mainland, but just come, bring that.
Well, I might not be able to take anything back, but I'm gonna move, right? And when I live there, I certainly can eat the stuff that you produce. And we do have this one comment from Nelly. So she says, "Hey guys, hey Nelly, thank you so much. I'm assuming that you're a female. If you're not, I apologize. Either way, thank you, Nelly, for that." And anyway, so everyone, thank you so much for checking out this video. People that have stuck around all the way to the end, thank you for that as well. And Gio, if you want to do this again in a few months, just let me know. You know how to find me as well. So Thanks, guys. And everyone, have an amazing rest of your weekend.
Thank you.
Bye.